Hello guys, welcome to another video on our mastering React.js. Okay, so in this video we're going to be looking at React parameters. So what is actually React parameters? React router allows you to define dynamic paths within your route using parameters. So for instance, you can define a route like user/id, where id can be a variable value. Now this allows you to access and use dynamic values within your component. So we can have a component having a list of users, and when we click on the name of the user, we can have access to all that details. So we're actually like going to view the profile of that particular user. You get? So that is what we're going to be doing today. And also, by using React Router, you can build complex application with multiple pages or views while maintaining the advantage of a single page application architecture. So let's move into the code and see how we can get this done properly. So first and foremost, inside our SRC folder, I'm going to be creating a new folder called utils. Okay, now inside the utils folder, I'll be creating a file called data.js. Right, so we're having an array of users. Okay, an array of users. We have James Doe, Smith Thompson, and then Brian Woods. So let's save. Now we're going to be making use of this array inside the users component. So for us to access it inside the users component, we have to add this keyword called export. So we are exporting this array of users. So we're going to see that work like magic. So inside of our component folder, we're going to be creating a new file component called users.jsx. Nice. So we're going to say that. So I'm going to be changing this to be users, and let's add our React fragment over here. So we say let's get this user. We are exporting it already, so we can say users, and you can see the link here coming from utils.data. So say users.map e, and then we can do this also. Alright, so we can have a div, and then we can have a link from React Router DOM, which is over here, React Router DOM here. So what would be the name of this link? What would be the content? So e.fullname also. So we're going to be breaking this and then save. Now in our index.js, we need to add the route. So we say users, and which component should we render? The users component. So this is the route for the users, and we are rendering the users component. So when the URL hits this target, it renders the users component. Cool. So close this, and then over here. Alright, in the home, let's just have another link, and this will be users page. So to /users, remember on the index we call this /users, so here it will be /users. So save. So back to our program. So we have users page and we have about. So when we click on users page, awesome, we have this James Doe, Smith Thompson, and then Brian Woods. Interesting. Now let's get to the main gist of this video. So we want to navigate to something like users/id. So it can be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on the ID of the user. Okay, so what we're going to do now is say so I'm going to be using a backtick here, is just beneath your escape key. Your escape key is beneath your escape key. So I'm going to use a back tick and we'll say user slash, then this template literals, we say e.id. Now quick, let me show you something. In this place, if we inspect and go to the console, you see we're having this warning. You say each child in a list should have a unique key. Each child in a list should have a unique key. So let's solve that particular warning. And what it simply means is this div, this is the div mapping through, we're mapping through. So we're going to give it a key attribute and it will be e.id. So the unique key for each element should be the ID. So we save now and go back here, refresh this page. You see that that warning is gone. Alright, so don't get frightened when you see such error. Just go there, add your key to the element. So cool. Now if I click on James Doe, if you look down here, just look down here, let me hover on it. You can see that we have user/user/1 Smith Thompson, user/user/1 Brian Wood, user/user/3. Okay, now what we're going to do is to, if we click on this now, notice that nothing is being displayed. Why? Because we've not yet registered that route to our system. So we're going to be having user detail. Okay, user detail. So how do you have a route parameter? You put /.id. Now this ID can be anything. It can be user, whatever you want to name it. So let's go with ID. So we save. So in this users here, so it will be user detail, then /id. So we'll save this. So what does that entail? It means we'll be creating a new folder, a new component with the name user detail.jss. So say raf. Okay, so raf, yeah, awesome. Okay, so back to this code, let's just clean this up. So we'll go to this. You see that the route ain't working. Why? Because we have users appended here. So we are going from users component to user details. So what we need to do in the routing here, index routing, so we'll append user/user details. Nice. So if I refresh this page, okay, let's go back and then save. I refresh this page, nothing is happening. Let's inspect and see the error we are having here. Try the folder. No route match location user/user detail/1. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? /id. Okay. Let's see what we are not doing well here. So this should be slash. ID, let's say. Let's check. So we have user detail. Copy this. The home. So let's navigate back to users. Run this. Okay, so we're on this. We are now going back to user detail. I think this is fine. User details without this user appended here. This is awesome. Okay, so let's try again. Okay. Oh. Now, if you saw this earlier, you're genius. Now look at what is happening here. We are rendering the same users component. We're supposed to be rendering user details component. This is already important here, right? So if I refresh it, you see that we have user details. Now in the user details here, let me have a link that will take us back to. So let me have a link that will take us back to users page, and this will be to users. Now, do you know why we're having? Please let me take this back. Users page. Now, if you see, if we over on this and we click it, we are getting user/user detail. Why we are having that is because we didn't put the / while using the tool. So it's going to maintain the current URL and then append the one we just added there. But if we want it to be exact with this one here, then we need to add the / over here for it to work properly. Okay, so that is that. So I'm going to go back again, refresh, and then we click on James Doe, take us back. You see that? So we're actually navigating to the user details component. Now in the user details, how do we get this ID? How do we get this ID and map through it? So there's something called the use location. So the use location is coming from the what they call it, the React router DOM. So I'm just going to say location is equal to use location. Now let's console.log location, console.log location. So let's click on this and then let's check. Now we're having an object. Hash, key, path name, search, and then we have the state. Okay, so this alone gives us the URL, the use location gives us the URL of where we are. Now this is the path name, so we can say location dot path name and save. You see that it's giving us user details /1, user detail /1. Okay, so now let's get this particular ID from the user. So I'm just going to move closer to what we had earlier here. So I'm going to go to routes, index, and then I have this ref in the vendor signup. Okay, so we can get these params from React router, which is the ref. Okay, now the use location helps us get the location of our system, and also we can also have another one called params is equal to use params. So it's coming from React router DOM as well. So let's console.log params and save. So go back to the browser, the console. So we have an object. You see, we have ID1. So it's in an object. So we have ID1. So what we can do is to the structure. So instead of saying const params, we can say const id is equal to params. Now let's console.log id. Now notice we are having 1 here. If I go back to this place, let me clear this and click on Thompson, you see we are having 2. Go back to users page, click on this, you see we are having 3. Awesome. So with this, we have the ID of the user that we actually want to display the details. Okay. Now we're going to be making use of a hook called use effect. And what is this hook actually doing for us? This hook is going to run immediately we launch this component, or immediately this component loads. Okay, so we're going to be saying when this happens, we'll use the use state hook as well, and say user let's just keep it empty. So we're going to be saying const user detail is equal to users coming from the utils.data dot filter. Now say where want to say dot id is equal to id. So let's console.log user detail. Cool. Okay, you see we're having an error say use state is not defined. Why? Because we didn't import use state at the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say use state. Come on. Alright, let's say come back here. Also, now if I go back to this place and I click on James Doe, see we have two objects being displayed. Alright, I just want to plug in my system now. You see we have James Doe. We have James Doe. Now this is repeating twice because of that strict let me show us. In our main.js we have this strict media. So let me quickly just get rid of it and save, and then go back to the users page. If I click on this James Doe, you see I have James Doe displayed here. Awesome. So if I go back and click on, let me clear this, click on Smith Thompson, you see I have Smith Thompson displayed. This is awesome. So what we're practically doing in this user details is we are saying when we load this page, const user detail is equal to users.filter. So filter out any data that is not equal to this ID we are getting from params. Let me come again. Now this is a very basic JavaScript array method, and I would like you to go look at filter in array method. But then I'm going to be explaining as basic as I can. So what we're saying that const user detail is equal to users.filter. Now what this filter does is it removes whatever that does not match this condition here. So we are saying remove anything that the ID is not equal to this ID we are getting from the params, right? So it's going to save the filter data to this user detail. Now what we're going to say now, you see we're considering that we're now going to say set user is now equal to user detail, like so. So this is it. So over here we can now look through this. So this is, so the user details here won't be a link anymore, or the link will still be down. the link will still be down, so we can just have the link down there, and then we can have this, and then we can say user.map. Now in, so what we want to display here is we want to have a div, and this div should have a key of e.id, and then say h1 is e.fullname. What else do we have? We have the age, right? So p, this will be e.age. I think that is all. We have in this. Okay, let's show the ID as well. It's not really necessary though, but let's just say p, just so we can have more details. e.id. So save. So we can save this, and boom, see what we have. You see we have that. We have the details. So if I go back to users page now and click on James Doe, so let's get the error. So it says cannot be property well defined. No. Alright, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be making this an array by default, and then come back here. Okay, let's try it one more time. Graham Woods also. Now we're having that error because the state is just an empty state, so we would have assigned an array to it initially so as not to get this map error here, because map is an array method. Okay, so that is just it. We initialize this user to map, so when it loads and set user, it just maps through the array. Cool. So if I go back, click on St. Thompson, makes sense, click on James Doe, cool. Now this is how we work with our route parameters. This is how we work with our route parameters, and this is the users section. We click on James Doe, we have James Doe, delete, and this, and all of those things. Alright, so thank you for watching this video. So I'm going to be giving you a little exercise. Now I want you to design this to be really beautiful. I want you to design this to be beautiful. Have all of this in a table. Have this in a table. Now when you click on this, have a very nice user details design. Alright, so see you in the next video.